Hello, everyone. This is Yamina from Dr. GPCR. Welcome to the first talk of 2022 in the context of the Dr. GPCR Virtual Cafe. Before we let our speaker talk to us about GPCR-PKA communication, I want to thank you all for being here. Ben, thank you for being with us. A few housekeeping items. Please make sure that your camera can be on, your mic is off. Oh. If you have questions during the talk, please feel free to ask while when the question comes up. Ben has told me that he's okay with you interrupting. He actually prefers it, so I would encourage you to do that. You can also type your questions in the chat if you'd like, and I will read them as soon as you hit send. And I think with this, Ben, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so let's hold on one second. So I was just
yes. Oh, you lost your.
Yeah, let's try again. I was just accepting the recording.
I'll take.
Let's see.
Okay,
let's
not a problem.
Again. Yeah, because for some reason when it started recording, it took off. It didn't allow me to see the screen because it has that window that comes up, and then I wasn't able to say.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I think
we're good. It looks like we're good.
All right, you see the main slide and not the presenter view?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I think we're good then. All right. Excellent. All right, so let me know when I should start.
I think we're ready. Everyone, those of you who joined a little bit after I hit record, please make sure that your microphone is off. And you can at any time interrupt and ask questions or type your question directly into the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them, or to read them up. Sorry, not to answer. I will not be answering the question. And with this, Ben, the floor is yours.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Yamina, for inviting me to speak in the Dr. GPCR Cafe. So I'm an assistant professor at the University of Utah. So I have the really good fortune to have my lab located in this beautiful city right here in this beautiful part of the world. And so I'm going to tell you today a story that's developed in my lab over the last 2.5 years or so that we're really excited about, because it relates to a specific signaling pathway in development and cancer biology called the Hedgehog pathway, but it really reveals a new way that signaling pathways can use GPCRs and can allow GPCR signaling that I think has given us some new ways to think more generally about how GPCR signaling might work in new ways. And so, yeah, as Yamina said, please interrupt me during the talk with questions. I would actually really like that as the presenter. I would love to be able to kind of make this a more interactive experience. And so just either interrupt or type your questions in the chat, and I would love to answer them. All right. So let me start off with this really kind of oversimplified, but I think useful view of how I think about canonical GPCR signaling. And so we all know that GPCRs are really ubiquitous throughout human health and physiology, and that they work as these switches in the membrane where binding of an activating ligand to a GPCR triggers a conformational change followed by an intracellular signaling pathway that goes on to determine a cell's physiology or a cell's fate. And a lot of really great work from many labs over the last several decades has really focused on two types of signal transducer proteins as being the main effectors downstream of most of GPCRs. And those are the heterotrimeric G proteins, shown in green here, and the beta-arrestins, shown in magenta. And I think together these proteins really account for a significant part of the signaling that happens upon GPCR engagement in cells. But it does naturally lead to the question of whether or not this is the whole story, or whether other proteins or other alternative signaling mechanisms might also exist downstream of GPCRs that are somewhat independent of these factors. And if that were the case, of course, we want to know what they are, and we want to study them because they're going to reveal new ways that GPCRs can signal and and even could be therapeutically targeted. And so what I hope to convince you of today is that, yes, there are alternative signaling mechanisms. And I'm going to tell you about one such mechanism involving a GPCR called smoothin, which is a class F GPCR in the Hedgehog signaling pathway.
The full episode of the Dr. GPCR Virtual Cafe is now only available in the Dr. GPCR ecosystem with a paid membership. Visit ecosystem.drgpcr.com to sign up, join the ecosystem, and consume all things Dr. GPCR and learn more about what's hot in our field today.